This is one of the few moments where I'm glad I bought a 10-foot cable to just drag my microphone around. Because right now, I am laying in bed. I could feel my back. And I'm just thinking about this one little thing called my voice. More specifically, I was in a call the other day, just calling a friend. Friends, really. And one of them just kept saying, "What? What?" Because apparently, I was mumbling. I was like inaudible. Everything I said was basically you couldn't hear what I was saying. And I was thinking about that. It's a thing that's been very prevalent throughout my life is just not being loud enough for people. But at the same time, there's a reason I'm not loud enough for people, and that's really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my speaking voice when I'm speaking to people, right? And how it's just a thing that exists. Let me just put it like this for now. I don't have a reason to be loud. I really don't. All my life, I've never really had a reason to be loud. Especially in my school, it was just so adamant that you had to be quiet all the time. No talking. All the time. If you talked, fucking, I'm gonna throw you through the fucking window, right? Just that, like, absolutely no talking ever. Even at lunch, the teachers would still power trip. Like, even though that was the one place we could talk, the teachers said that we talked too loud. So they were like, "Okay, guys, you're talking too loud. We're gonna put you." We had these cups on the tables, and there was a green one, a yellow one, a red one, right? Green was talking, yellow was like, "Watch your voice," that sort of thing. And it's such a bitch move from them, so which is it, especially school, because that's basically my 9 to 5 from what 5 years old to at least when they had the cups. That was my K through 5. Um, so like 5 to 10 years old, right? So it was just ingrained from that moment forward. Just be quiet all the time, and that's what I was reciprocated for. Was just being the quiet person that did their work, didn't think for themselves. Whenever I thought it was for the school, right? It was for the greater good, and even at home, there was never really any incentive to be loud either because I was mostly just to myself, like if I wanted to talk to my siblings, I would just go to my siblings. I didn't really yell across the house to call for them or anything. I would just go up to them and talk to them. There wasn't really any need to be loud at home. There was no need to be loud anywhere. Anywhere I went, no need to be loud. So that's how I grew up, was just not being loud. And the few the few times I was loud, the few times I was loud at school or I did something that was like a little bit much, I was put back in line immediately. Man, especially elementary school. My elementary school sucked. I know a few people that went to my elementary school and we all hated it. Like it was no one liked it. Everyone despises the elementary school we went to if we went to it. And it was just for reasons like that where it's like any little moment was just a moment to power trip, right? Oh, were you like a little bit out of line? Get the fuck back in line. But through these ingrained emotions throughout my life where I've had no incentive to be loud. No reason. I just never did, right? And also I was just scared to talk to people. I didn't want to mess up talking to them. So it's just accumulated in this quietness that I have. And even when I speak in my videos, even when I'm talking in my videos, I go to the audio file and I'm like, couldn't I just, I'm speaking on a dynamic microphone. Couldn't I just talk a little bit louder? My audio is too quiet. I gotta raise it up like 4 decibels. And then when I listen to the video, it's like a little too loud. And again, it's just because I'm used to speaking like that. I'm used to speaking quieter, speaking at a tone that doesn't really enforce me to, it's an inside voice, right? It's like an inside voice, if I'm being completely honest. Even after I graduated high school and I went to college, I had a roommate. I had a dorm roommate. And when they're in the dorm, I don't want to talk while they exist because I don't want to be annoying to them. But they still annoyed me. Not because they did the same thing. They didn't talk to me at all. We didn't talk to each other. Like, we said a total of maybe 5 sentences to each other during our entire tenure together. But he slept so fucking loud. He breathed so fucking loud. And it was progressive too. I tell this story to almost everyone. Okay, this is a side tangent. But at first, he would be in the dorm. He would play Bloons Tower Defense Chimps Mode, the hardest difficulty. He would play the same map over and over. He watched Injustice cutscenes And he also watched Invincible. He watched the first season of Invincible. He was just getting around to it. As the months progressed, his circadian rhythm got more aggravating to me, where he would come in at 3 p.m., take a nap for 6 hours, and just leave. I'm still trying to make videos in this dorm, and I can't talk while he's asleep. I can't talk. I can't do anything while he's asleep. I don't want to wake him up. But also at the same time, he's like napping at 3 p.m. Like, maybe I should have just talked. And he's like, hey, why are you talking while I'm sleeping? I said, you should sleep at a normal fucking time. One time, he slept at 9 p.m. and he slept until 2 to 3 p.m. in the next day. That's almost 18 hours of rest. What are you doing? Why are you sleeping this long? And that's not even the worst part. Like, the rhythm was off, but as it continued, and he would actually sleep, some nights he would actually sleep at a normal time. But here's what happened. He would just... That's what I would hear at night. Just that. And I had to wrap a blanket around my head, and that would mute it. A few nights later, it wouldn't be enough. So I would have to put my headphones on, and like that would be my muffs. Like it wasn't enough. I still heard him. Like he slept loud. Like he didn't snore or anything. He just slept loud. And I had to turn on my noise canceling too. Because, like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to him? I don't talk to him already. And then I'm just supposed to, like, hey, by the way, you sleep too fucking loud. Like, that's one of the most disheartening things you can say to someone because they can't control that. I remember one time, I had to build up the courage to talk to him. I had to build up the courage when he was actually awake and just, like, ask, like, are you alright? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, okay. And I punched myself in the face later. I didn't actually, but I might as well have. I might as well just have jumped from the 4th floor of my dorm to the cafeteria. But it's moments like those where I don't really exercise a loud voice. I've never had the opportunity, or really I've never had the incentive to exercise a speaking voice. So when there's moments where I'm just talking without really thinking, without, having like the context of making a YouTube video right now. Like I'm talking louder because this is a YouTube video, and even then it's not enough sometimes. But when I'm just like talking with friends, sometimes they just go, what did you just say? I remember one time I was at a restaurant. I said my order to the waitress, and I thought it sounded perfectly fine. It made it like it might as well have sounded like how I'm talking now, is what I'm saying. But apparently what it sounded like to everyone else was I literally sounded like Joe Biden to them. And more than anything, I'm just annoyed over the fact that I've spent my entire life not having to be loud. In fact, I'm actually rewarded for not being loud, right? No need to be loud. I've never had the reason to. And then when the moments I actually do that, and people are like, you need to speak up. What did you just say? You need to speak up. It's like, I went my whole life. That's what I'm trying not to do, because that's what I've been like trained to do. It's not like I can just reverse my training, because people love silence, and I understand that a little too much. I don't like interrupting people. I don't like it at all. I try to find the moment when I can hop in a conversation. It just never comes sometimes, right? Like, I don't like being loud. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable to be too loud. A good example of that is just when I woke up one morning and I heard my upstairs neighbors just fucking fighting each other, just having a scream off with each other. I think there was something about cheating. I don't know. That's what I associate being loud with, is moments like that. And what is being loud associated with? It's associated with being obnoxious. It's associated with being annoying, or problematic, or angry. It's never associated with something positive. Like, maybe there's charisma there. Maybe you're charismatic if you're loud. It's not even associated, like, it's associated with that, but no one's ever called charismatic for being loud. They're just usually called having a lack of self-awareness. It's considered a bad thing to be loud. I don't care. Okay? Like, it's considered a bad thing. You're considered annoying if you're loud, and I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be annoying, but I have to work my way to just being presentable, I guess. It's a very frustrating thing trying to be loud because I'm doing something like how I'm talking right now. I'm having to go out of my way to talk like this. This is something I have to go out of my way to talk like. This isn't how I naturally speak. I've had videos where I speak naturally, and even then, when I listen to it, I'm like, what the fuck am I like? I speak like this? Like, if I'm in a Discord call and somebody's recording gameplay and I'm like talking in the background, I'm usually talking like this. Just this is how I usually talk. What if I do my normal speaking voice right now? This is how I usually talk in a Discord call, or if I'm just calling anyone really. I'm like, this is how I'm used to talking. And I can look at my Ableton right now as I'm laying on the bed and I can see it. I can see my voice just it's so much quieter. I can see it visually how much quieter it is, and I'm actually putting the microphone up to my face a little bit more. I'm just shoving it in my face a little bit more just so it sounds louder. This is how I normally talk. This is how I normally talk. I've never had a need to talk louder than this. I really never had a need to talk louder than this. Usually, if I'm talking like this, people can understand me. People can understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes it depends, but most of the time, this is how I sound. I'm not used to talking like this. I'm not used to talking with emphasis, I suppose. If you want to call it emphasis or just like you speaking with my chest instead of my throat. I don't know. And even then, it's kind of like it feels a little bit more high pitched. Like when I speak with my throat, it's a little bit deeper. It's like I'm still trying to find my voice. I feel like an alien sometimes. My brain just inhibited this body a week ago and is still trying to figure out how to talk. That's how it feels sometimes. But it's just because I'm trying to figure out how to talk. It's weird to say that. What the fuck? This is how you speak all the time, but I'm still trying to figure out how to speak, how to talk. And this is one of those things I gotta figure out. It's just really annoying to talk normal and it's not enough. The way you talk normally just isn't enough. That's such a horrible feeling. It just fucking sucks to just talk normally and people go, "What did you say?" I don't want to have to go out of my way to talk. I just want to talk normally. But the way I talk normally is too quiet for people. So I gotta like improve my speaking voice, but then if I improve my speaking voice, am I really talking like but if I talk this way, am I really being genuine to the way I really am? I don't know. Is it just a matter of muscle memory and I really just have to train to fix that? I'm not entirely sure. As it stands, I'm trying to figure out how to talk. That's what I'm trying to do is trying to figure out how to talk. I'll figure out some gameplay to put over this. See what see what I have recorded.